Fear is the feeling that you get when you have a feeling that something is going to happen, or you have fear of certain things in life. It's like being afraid inside about it, death, afraid of something happening bad, bad experiences. But that's what the fear is to me. I can just accept it all around me and not everything. You can overcome fear if you just think about what the words say, that fear no man and fear no situations.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Feel free to leave your cameras off if you want to. You can also turn them on if you want to. Um, I'll introduce us more to what we're gonna have going on today, but I will say that I think this is a moment to really value intimacy with yourself. And so if it feels comfortable for you to have your camera off the whole time, that is okay. If you want to have it on, that is also okay. Um, so we are going to start with, oop, oh my. Okay, there we go. All right, so I like to start all of our sessions with our breath. So I invite you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower stomach if that feels comfortable for you. And while we do that, we're just going to take 3 deep breaths together as a group. So we're inhaling on 4, 3, 2, 1, and holding 3, 2, 1, and exhaling 3, 2, 1. Again, we're inhaling 3, 2, 1, and holding 3, 2, 1, and exhaling 3, 2, 1. Last time, I want you to emphasize an audible exhale out of your mouth. So we're inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. We're holding 3, 2, 1. And we're exhaling 3, 2, 1 out of the mouth. Settle back into your normal pace of breath, back into the space. I encourage everybody to have a journal with them and a pen, because there will be some things that you might want to take notes on at the beginning before we kind of get into more of an active practice. So I invite you to use those if you want to limit your distractions. If you can, turn off your technology and have a moment of silence. This is a little under an hour of your time. So I really invite you to just be in the space, be present with your body, and everything that's going on outside of the world. It will be there at 7 p.m. or 9 p.m., whatever time it is there, for you. So I invite you to give yourself this time fully. So today is the frequency of you. And I want to kind of introduce this by just give you guys a little bit of a basis of what you can expect today. So, we're going to be talking a lot about kind of the connection between the mind and the body and understanding what yes feels like in your body and no feels like in your body, what a lie feels like, what truth feels like, and what does that even mean. So, this could be more of a, I don't want to put a label on it because everybody's experience is different, but if you are actively participating in this and really getting into this visualization and somatic piece that we have, it could be a little bit more emotional. So I would just say give yourself all the love that you can in the event that that does come up for you. But if that doesn't, that's also okay. There is no right or wrong way to experience this. But I definitely just want to put that out there because I think that the moment we connect with our bodies, especially when we're so busy being in our minds, she holds a lot. It holds a lot. So just be gentle with yourself as we go through this. And before I kind of get more into the nitty-gritty, I definitely want to just start by getting into our bodies because can't talk about our bodies if we're not in them. So we're going to start with a body scan. Um, a quote that I love is that our body speaks a language as much as our brains do, and we have to know how to communicate it. So today, communicate with it. So today we're learning how to increase that mind-body connection. And the quote that we have on the screen here is one of my favorites, just talking about the science of the body. And it says, that the body contains and expresses that which is not conscious, but which is of central organizing importance to a person. So, in other words, that basically means that whatever beliefs or stories you live under also inform how your body moves through the world. And our goal is to slowly move ourselves into a greater sense of safety. So, all the things that you've been through, all the heaviness you've been carrying from today, yesterday, from your life, it shows up in our body, and our body functions in response to whatever it is that we are experiencing and we have experienced. So, how can we begin to create a feeling of more safety in our body? Is kind of the lens that we want to look at today through. And again, there's no right or wrong way to experience anything. There's no right or wrong way to feel things. So be gentle with yourself. And with that, again, I'm going to invite you guys to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Whenever people ask us to do this, especially during meditation, it's because oftentimes we can get really distracted and there's so many fun lights and things around us. And so when we close our eyes and soften our gaze, we're giving our nervous system and our mind a moment to just really pause and be in the body. So I encourage everybody to close your eyes, take a few breaths at your own pace. There's no way to force your breath in this moment. So with your eyes closed, we're first going to start at the very top of our heads. I just want you to notice any sensations that you're feeling here, any tingling, any heat, any tightness. And kind of imagine as we're going down the body that there's like a bar of light that's scanning over. I know we've all been through TSA before, so it's like if you're luggage, what is happening as it goes through that scanner? So we're starting at the top of our head, going down to our neck, brushing over the shoulders, seeing what's being held here, if anything, any tightness, any tension. Again, knowing that there's no right or wrong way to feel anything. We're just taking note of what's happening in our body. Going down from your shoulders into your arms, over the chest. I really want us to focus on the chest. It has a tendency to hold a lot of tension. So just notice what's happening in your chest right now. Is there shallowness? Is there emptiness? Does it feel full? I invite you to go down to your stomach, the lower back, noticing what's happening in this area. And from your stomach down to your back, we're going down into our base. So this is by your womb, your lower back, your navel, noticing what's happening here, what you're feeling. Again, if there's any tightness or tension, and knowing that there's no right or wrong way to feel or experience anything, we're just taking note of it. Just a gentle scan of our bodies as we enter into the space. Going over our thighs, slowly making our ways down to our knees. Again, just noticing what's happening here, naming whatever you're feeling in this part of your body. There's no right or wrong way to experience anything. Down to the bottom of your legs, slowly going down all the way to your feet, your ankles, your toes. Just noticing what sensations are happening here and what you're feeling, taking mental note of it. And when you are ready, we're going to take that little bar, that scanner that just went all the way down, going to go up our feet, bottom of our legs, to our knees, to our thighs, through our womb, through our stomach, up to our chest, by our heart, through our neck, all the way up to our head. And then just releasing, taking one more big inhale through your mouth and one more exhale out of your mouth. Letting yourself come back into your body, come back into your space, and just kind of keep a mental note of what you felt in your body during that time. Again, remembering that we're being gentle and there's no right or wrong way to feel anything. So, to anybody that just jumped in, we just did a body scan, we've taken some deep breaths. So if you want to on your own time take some deep breaths, you're more than welcome to do so. But I do invite you now, if it feels comfortable for you, to use your journal if you want it, to just be present. If that feels good, do whatever y'all got to do for yourselves. But there will be a little bit of information before we get into more of this active practice that we're going to do. So we go into it well informed and in theme with kind of what we're talking about today. So, we are talking today about shifting the narrative, right? So this is identifying what stories that we've been living under. And what I mean by that is what is it that you believe about yourself and how does that impact how you function through the world, right? Some of us believe we're powerful, some of us believe we're strong, some of us believe we are incapable, some of us believe that we're silent. And so how do these stories kind of inform how we move through the world? And just for this next 40 minutes of your life, I am encouraging us all to do a little bit of acting. So even if you don't believe that you are this being and this person, we're going to act like we are, okay? And this being is the transitional character. So this is a term that comes from narrative therapy and also like somatic. There's a certain oh my gosh, theoretical orientation. That's kind of like a type of somatic like body work. And so this term is transitional character. So this is what we're taking on today. So the transitional character refers to the person in a family who takes on the work of interrupting and changing generational patterns. So I'll say that again. The term transitional character refers to a person in the family who takes on the work of interrupting and changing generational patterns. So, what does this mean for us today being a transitional character? Because we're acting as the transitional character today, we are going to practice getting into the mindset of actively changing and interrupting generational patterns and rewriting stories that maybe are not supporting us the most in the long run. Um, and something that I think is important to remember here is that the stories that linger inside of our body, even when conditions change, will have a lingering effect. Okay. So even if you've experienced something as a child and there was a consistent story that you were being told, you're too loud, you're too this, it's going to consistently impact how you move through the world. And it lingers even when your conditions change. So, like I said, even when those change, we can still struggle internally to feel or believe that certain capacities are possible for us, and it can kind of fracture our capacity to live a full life. So, how do we address that? First, I want to share kind of like a excerpt from a book that I love. So, a lot of what I'm talking about today is informed by this book. It's called What It Takes to Heal by Prentice Hemphill, and she's absolutely amazing. This is the book. You guys will get this afterwards. I have a whole PDF I'll send to you guys with all this information. But Prentice Hemphill wrote a book called What It Takes to Heal, and one of her stories that she had written in there reads as so. So this is kind of related to that feeling of stories staying stuck in your body, even when we've continued to have changing conditions in our lives. So she says, even when our conditions change, we can still struggle internally to feel or believe that these capacities are possible for us. We may never feel safe, even though we have what we need. We may question belonging, even when we are clearly wanted. We may live with the persistent shame that doesn't allow for boundaries or choices that care for us. It's a fracturing of these capacities that follow us through our lives. When I was a child, my nervous system learned to constantly search for threat, even when there was none. A pervasive shame held me together, mediating at all times who I could be or belong. I was somehow taught that the I was somehow taught that I was at fault for the abuse, for my mother's unhappiness, and I was fundamentally bad. I was also left with the belief that belonging was dangerous, and it was better to hide my own needs so deep that they would be almost imperceptible, even to me. I carry the same trauma forward in all my relationships, and I consistently hide from the possibility of connection. So I like that excerpt because I feel like it really explains what we're talking about, right? Like, one, it's normal. Okay, it's normal to have these narratives consistently informing how we move through the world. But also, two, like, how powerful is it that these stories that we get told can stay in our body and continue to like inform the way that we move through things? And also, how do we actively change that? Knowing it's a process, but knowing that it's also possible to shift the narrative. So, um, as I mentioned today, a big part of that is we can't just think our way through this. At least that's my personal belief. I don't think that all of the power lies within the brain. There's power in the body. And so we're using that wisdom today to kind of shift our focus from our head to our tissues, to our bodies, because when we rely so heavily on thinking as the sole basis for healing, I think we miss the resource and the wisdom and the reality of our bodies and the way it responds to things. So before I kind of move on, I want you to think about that point, even in like relation to what we just did, right? Like that body scan. What came up for you? What were you feeling in your body? What was your body telling you? What was it communicating? These are things that we don't often do because we're so busy and so in our minds, but it's important to think about. Um, and what was I going to say next? Oh, yes. Another quote that I love from the book. She says that the mind is not just a function of our brains, but a coordinated mapping that includes the information perceived and recorded by other parts of our bodies. And one of my favorite quotes by Audre Lorde that I live by, she said that the white fathers told us, I think, therefore I am. but the Black mother within each of us, the poet, whispers in our dreams, I feel, therefore I can be free. So today, we're taking that approach with this visualization. So there's two things that I want from y'all. Take this approach of we're going to tap into the wisdom of the body to tell us some things, right? And then also, even if you don't believe that you are this, we're going to act for the next 35 minutes that we are this, that you are this transitional character. And this is again referring to the person in a family who takes on the work of interrupting and changing generational patterns. You are that in this moment. So as we actively go through this practice, which again, I will say, like, be gentle with yourself in it because it can bring up some things for you, especially since we are going into the body a lot more. Be gentle, open your eyes if you need to, take a breath. This is what your cup of water is for, that you hopefully have next to you. It's a really good way to anchor back if you're starting to feel like you're losing your grip a little bit. Um, and just really, I invite you though, not to run away from hard feelings. Again, take care of yourself if you're like, Naya, this is too uncomfortable. I can't do this. But I invite you to see what your body's trying to tell you, to really like experience it. It's only a fraction of time in your life, right? This is only a moment, but I invite you to really experience what's coming up and know that you are safe and your body is safe and your body has a way of keeping you safe. So it will let you know if this is too much, but uncomfortable doesn't mean it's too much. So if it feels uncomfortable, it doesn't mean it's too much. But if it feels too much, come back, open your eyes, take a sip of water, and then you can join us back at your own pace. But with that, have your water near you. Oh, I almost skipped that. It's okay. We went through that. We talked through it. All right, so we're going to go through our active visualization piece. If you guys have been to a previous one, which we only had one of these online, but there will be so many more, then the active visualization is kind of like our guiding force here. So if you don't know what an active visualization is and you're like, Naya, what are you talking about? An active visualization is kind of like it's a meditation in the sense that you're really focusing, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys breathe in and breathe out for the next 10, 15 minutes. An active visualization is kind of like a guided imagery, guided conversation for you to have with yourself, but it's done in kind of a meditative way. So eyes are shut, you can lay down, you can sit, whatever feels comfortable for you. So that's what we're going to lean into, is our visualization. So I invite you in this moment to really allow your body to speak to you. And if you notice yourself kind of getting in your head, then just coming back to the breath, that's a great way to anchor back into the body. And just doing this from a very non-judgmental place, labeling what's coming up, naming it, but we're not judging it. Okay. Um, so as I'm kind of going through this, another piece that I want to mention, from the book that she wrote that I want you guys to notice if it comes up in your body during this. She says this. She says, I learned that places where my muscles tightened were contractions, where enzymes are seen as protective or reactive impulses that remain in our tissues. Feeling is the conscious allowance of emotions. We let them run through so that we can digest them and understand the messages they offer. But when we deny this process and stop feeling, like stopping our tears, we're treating ourselves the way we might treat machines. And we lose the human opportunity that feeling gives us to learn and grow. So just be conscientious of any restrictions or restraints that you feel coming up in your body as we're kind of going through this. So again, I just invite you to take another breath in at your own pace. We don't need to force our breath to be fast. We don't need to force our breath to be slow. I just want you to be in your own pace of breath, noticing how the breath feels coming in through your nose, exhaling out of the mouth, coming into your body, into your space, knowing that you're safe during this time, even with your eyes closed. I know that the world is a scary place and it can be very unsafe. That's a real thing at a lot of times, and it is in a lot of ways right now. But in this moment, you are safe. Your body is safe. Your mind is safe. And I take you guys trusting me with this time, this visualization very seriously. So I hope that under my guidance, you can also feel very safe. So I want you to imagine that you're sitting in a room, and this room is a pretty blank canvas. Okay, there's not too much going on around us. Maybe there's a door, maybe there isn't, but it's a pretty plain room. There's nothing in the room that you're overly attracted to or intrigued by. There's also nothing in the room that's overly dissatisfying or hard to look at. It's very neutral space around you. And in this room, just kind of look down at your body. Again, with the eyes shut, we're visualizing this, looking down at our hands, at our feet, maybe wiggling them a little bit. And in this room, we're going to hear a few different statements come into the room and come into this space. And kind of imagine there's a speaker in this room. These speaker is going to play some statements for you. And each statement that I play, I invite you to sit with it for a moment. There'll be silence in between these. I want you to notice how your body reacts to it. I want you to notice how your mind reacts to it, how your heart reacts to it, how different versions of yourself may react to it. Is there a younger version coming up? Just labeling it, just noticing it. There's no right or wrong way to experience it. So, at the sound of my voice, for the next little bit of time, you're going to hear these statements. There will be a pause in between them so you can really feel what comes up for you. And again, we're doing it without labeling and judging. As you sit in this room, it's pretty unstimulating, and just listen to what statements are coming in. I am not enough. I am unlovable. I don't fit in. I'm responsible for everyone else's emotions. I'm not important. No one notices me. I'm weird. I'm not like everybody else. I'm hard to love. I'm unsafe. Just notice how those are settling for you. Trusting that your body's here to keep you safe, but it's also here to communicate to you. So just noticing and labeling any feelings that came up during those statements, taking some breaths into it. Noticing where it's coming up in your body. Is it heavy? Is it tense? Is it contracted? Maybe there's nothing. There's no right or wrong way to experience it. Just noticing it. And there's going to be some more statements that come through into this room that's bland and pretty neutral. I am enough. I am unconditionally loved. I am wanted and needed. There are spaces for me. I'm not responsible for everyone else's emotions. I'm important. My presence matters. I'm uniquely made. I'm easy to love. And I'm safe. Again, just noticing how those settle for you in your body. identifying what's coming up for you in your mind. What version of you feels present right now? Is it a younger version? Is it a current version? We're not judging, we're just noticing and we're just naming and practicing letting our body communicate to us, even if it feels uncomfortable. And in this neutral room, this unstimulating room, again, I want you to look at your hands, look at your feet, look around you. And in this moment, again, just reminding yourself that there's no judgment on how you experienced anything. But what I will tell you, because remember, today, whether or not you believe you're playing the role as the transitional character. You are the person in your family who takes the work of interrupting and changing generational patterns. And because you are these things, that means that you only operate from truth. Your body only knows truth. So those first statements that you heard, maybe they were heavy, maybe they were hard, have a frequency of dishonesty, right? Those are all a lie. I'm not enough. I'm unlovable. I don't fit in. I'm responsible for everyone else's emotions. I'm not important. No one notices me. I'm weird. I'm not like everybody else. I'm hard to love. I'm unsafe. Who's told you these stories before? Are they yours? Are they somebody else's? Did you take on this story from somebody else? Did you learn to adopt this story as your own? Is it sustainable? Where do you feel it in your body? But beyond all of those things, I really, really want to emphasize that all of those statements are a lie. They are not honest. They are not factual. They are not objective. But our body tends to have such a strong and intense reaction to them because many of us have heard these things in different spaces and in different places. But because we are the transitional character, we know that these things are a lie. What does that frequency of that lie feel like in your body? How does that disrupt your system? And those next statements that you heard, because you are this transitional character, the one who is moving and shaking things up in your family, those statements are rooted in love. They're rooted in truth. And everything that's rooted in truth is love, and everything that is rooted in love is truth. And so, how did it feel to digest those? Did they flow? Did they expand? Were they hard to believe? Again, those statements where I am enough, I'm unconditionally loved, I'm wanted and needed, there are spaces for me, I am not responsible for everyone else's emotions, I am important, my presence matters, I am uniquely made, I am easy to love, and I am safe. I just want to say those again for good measure. And if you feel like there's a constriction in your body that's keeping you from adopting these as your truth, remember that even if you don't believe it, today we are acting like the transitional character, and this transitional character knows these things to be true. So, speaking to that part of you, again, I say, I am enough. I am unconditionally loved. I am wanted and needed. There are spaces for me. I am not responsible for everyone else's emotions. I am important. My presence matters. I am uniquely made. I am easy to love, and I am safe. And this is operating from a frequency of truth. All of those words are truth. There is no lie in that. If anything in your body is convincing you otherwise, or convincing you that you are not one of these things or all of these things and everything in between, you know that that's functioning from a lie. And in this moment, you gave yourself the opportunity to experience what those two things feel like in your body so you can continue to identify them in your day-to-day life. How did that lie settle into your body? Did it feel tight, constricted, protective? How did that truth settle into your body? Did it feel digestive? Did it feel easy? Did it feel slow? This is how we begin to communicate with our body to understand when it's telling us, "Ooh, that feels like a lie. That doesn't feel like it belongs." Or, "Ooh, that feels good. That feels true." Because at the end of the day, everything that functions in truth, it also functions in love, and everything that functions in love also functions in truth. So with that, I invite you to look around this room that you're in one more time. To take 3 deep breaths, we'll do it together in through our nose, exhaling out of our mouth. Again, in through our nose, exhaling out of our mouth. One more time, in through our nose, exhaling out of our mouth. Wiggling your fingers in real life, wiggling your toes, opening your eyes. Highly recommend taking a sip of water if it's near you. Maybe giving your body some loving taps helps me come into my body after practices like that, which can feel a little bit heavy, a little cathartic at times. You're just giving your body some taps, waking up your legs, waking up your feet, tap, tap, tap. And I invite you for a few moments. I'll give you guys about 4, 5 minutes to really write down what that experience was like for you in your journal. Um, if you don't have your journal, write it down on your phone with the do not disturb on. Just writing that down. What was that experience like for you? And as you guys are writing that down, I'll just play a gentle song in the background. Okay. And I invite you to put a pin in that thought that you had written down. I'm also gonna, again, provide you guys all with a PDF at the end of this that has all of this information on it. And the journal prompts will also be on there too, so you can have those on there. But just go ahead and put a period in your sentence where you are. And then I like to open up the space. Again, this is a very intentional and individual experience. And so I'm not overly concerned about this being a crazy community conversation. However, I do think that sharing is powerful because somebody may have experienced something that they felt was off or they want clarity on, and maybe somebody experienced the same thing, or you just want to share a word or a color or a feeling. So I invite you guys to share anything you want in the chat or out loud, if it feels comfortable for you, how that experience was for you, or it just anything that came up for you during that. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Share my screen. Oh,
Oh, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so I'll share what came up for me during that. While going through the negative IMs, I did begin to like visualize moments that I felt that way. Um, So yeah, like just past moments that I felt that way or current moments that I'm currently in where I feel like unappreciated or, things of that sort. And then when you started to go through the positive I am statements, I started to get just like an overwhelming peace, like because I am a spiritual person and I believe in God. And I know that I am all of these things because of He who keeps me and because of He says I'm these things as well. So when you went through those statements, I just kind of got that God sort of peace, like, yes, I am these things. So thank you for that. And then reaffirming them again after.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that.
Sure, sure. I'm going to mute again.
You're good. Yeah, if you guys want to share anything out loud or type in the chat, no pressure at all. But Kim, I appreciate you for sharing that because I'm sure that somebody else experienced something similar.
Yeah, during the like negative talk, I guess I'll say the lies. I kept picturing it felt like it brought out like a younger me from like high school, someone who was struggling a lot, and did believe those things. And current me, I did feel a bit of heaviness. I felt sadness for her in my heart. Um, but then there was also like a bigger part of me, current me, or like my greater wisdom, as you had before. Like I was just like it just took it differently, and I was like, oh, like I'm weird. And I was like, yeah, damn right, I'm weird. Like that, yeah, that's awesome. I'm not like everybody else. Like that's right. So I was already like flipping it to like I'm unique and changing that narrative, and when the positive talk came, it felt really empowering. It felt very aligned. It felt true. And I'm really proud of how far I've come that it didn't bring up any senses of doubt except for that little teenager in me. And so I even tried to picture myself reaching out to her, sitting down with her and saying those words as you were saying them, and giving her a hug, giving her a kiss, and just, giving her some love to let her know, like, you're not falling behind here. Like, we're all in this together. And yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing all of that. And if you guys have ever experienced, you don't have to write this in the chat, but Zoom has those little options. You can put your hand up or do a little heart. I'm just curious what percent of us experience like a younger or past version of ourselves coming up. Because I think Kim and Shireen both kind of mentioned that, right? Like Kim was mentioning there's old memories coming back that reminded me of when I felt those things. And then Shireen was mentioning like this brought back a younger part of myself, a teenage part of myself. And so I'm curious for anybody else if that kind of came up for you guys. And I'll read something that we have in the chat. Um, they said, I felt a lot of sadness and empathy hearing the negative talk about myself, whereas that normally is a truth for me. I felt I needed to protect myself in that moment. I love that. I think that everyone's distinction of this is different, but something that I'd like to offer that may resonate with you and may land with you is I think that sadness and that heaviness that usually we feel like we align with, it usually is connected to a past part of ourselves that's been hurt, or maybe a current part of ourselves that's been hurt or had something like this spoken over you. But that element of protectiveness that you mentioned, Emily, like I usually feel like, yeah, this is my truth, but in that moment I felt protective. That protective piece is like what I want us to tap into, not just now, but like moving forward. Like, how can we continue to emphasize that part of us that's like, mm-mm, girl, I don't take that. That's not my truth. I'm protecting myself. That's not my truth. Where is that protectiveness coming from? How can we align with that protectiveness more? I appreciate you sharing that in the chat. Um, and I'll also just share like obviously I'm here and I'm like leading this space for you guys, but I take being in this position very seriously. Because it is leading people through something that brings up a lot. But on top of that, as I'm leading it, it also brings up a lot of emotions for me too. And less emotions kind of like about my own experience because I'm so focused on putting the things out and saying the things. But I think something that I felt in that moment was I may or may not know everybody that's in this room, but I really wanted to reemphasize those points of truth because I felt like y'all needed to hear it and we needed to hear it and I needed to hear it. Saying those even to myself was like doing something in my body, in my spirit. I was like, I need to hear those again. So I'm going to share those again. So before I kind of transition and close this out and give you all the last little few nuggets, um, oh, perfect. I'm going to read the next thing that got put in the chat before I do that. Paige said, I had such a somatic experience in my heart and chest with the negative versus positive I ams, contraction versus expansion. Also, sadness for the versions of me that I've felt, and also empowerment for the version of me that I've grown to believe the positive I ams. I love that. And I love that a few of us have experienced some of that movement into the belief of those truths. And if you feel like there's a stuckness or it's like, okay, Naya, they're saying this, but I don't know how I'm feeling, or I don't know if that's resonating with me, that's also okay. This is your body communicating with you where you're at in your journey. Um, and Lily said, how do people balance knowing those statements to be true and feeling them to be true? That's a great question because that's what we're going to get into. So this can be an active practice. Um, because it's great, I will say, I think like affirmation culture and wellness culture can be very like, girl, you are that, and yes, and everything is sunshine and rainbows, and my life is so great. And that is just not how we feel all the time. It's not something that is realistic, right? And so how do we actively practice and know? No, these things are true because I live them. These things are true because I show up in the world with these as my truth. And how do I show up with these as my truth? There's layers to that. Some of you guys may know, I don't usually do a whole spiel about myself, but I've been in like the clinical mental health, creative, and meditative world for a long time now. So I could go in a whole spiel about that. But today I want to offer something really practical on how you can not only believe them to be true, but how can we really feel them to be true? Oh, I feel that truth. Yeah. I am enough. Yeah, I'm unconditionally loved. I am wanted and needed. There are spaces for me. I'm not responsible for everyone else's emotions. I am important. My presence matters. I am uniquely made. I am easy to love and I am safe. How do we practice those, right? That's kind of what I want to offer you guys. And I'm gonna give you guys some practices that you can continue to use throughout your week, your life, moving forward. All of those good things. So let me click over to my next screen if it'll let me. Hello? I'm like so untech savvy sometimes. Okay. Oh, all right. Yes. So I didn't want to leave y'all there, right? Like bring you to this point, and I'm like, great. All right, go on with your lives. I hope that was fun. I definitely want to give you guys something practical to leave with. So Another quote that I love from the book, again, if you recently joined, this is the book that I was telling everybody about. This is What It Takes to Heal by Prentice Hemphill. Highly recommend it. And I got a lot of my inspiration from this book just in general with how I do clinical practice, with how I do these, with how I live my life. So highly recommend. But one of the quotes that's from this book says, if it is our pain that fuels us more than our visions, we can't last. So one more time, if it is our pain that fuels us more than our visions, we can't last. Another word that I'd put in there from what we just did in our visualization, if it is our lie that fuels us more than our truth, we can't last. If it is our lies that fuel us more than our truths, we can't last. So, how do we make sure that we're moving and living in a life that is fueled by truth and not from the lie, regardless of how intense that may feel or how real that may have felt for you at some point in time, regardless of how many times somebody has spoken those things over you that is not your truth? And remember, in this moment, you are the transitional character, and the transitional character resists that. So, we're moving in truth. So, what can we do? So the first thing that I want to offer, I don't know if I put it on this page. Oh, no, I guess I'm doing it all from here. So you can, I guess, write it down or just keep it in your little brain. Your body, right? This is what we're focusing on. This was our communicator today. Your body is going to constantly be looking for external cues that confirm internal beliefs. Your body is constantly looking for external things to confirm patterns that you've been under for a long time, right? This is why growing is a slow process, but it's an intentional process because you're literally shifting your brain to believe something different, to see different things. I remember being a kid, I'm sure all of you guys have played this at some point in time, where we would play like punch buggy, no punch backs. So we'd be literally intentionally, we're on the road, my parents are driving, I'm looking for buggies everywhere. Recently, for me, it's been like Cybertrucks. Anytime I see a Cybertruck, I'm like, Cybertruck, and I'm looking for them everywhere. I think that they're not cute cars, but regardless of the fact, when I'm looking for it, I'm going to see it more. So whatever you're looking for, it's going to happen and you're going to see it more around you. That's just law of attraction, which is a very real thing. So with that, we're starting to actively look for things that are different. We're looking for things that actively reaffirm those truths. So instead of looking for things that confirm, yes, I am unlovable and I don't fit in and I'm not important and nobody notices me, I'm going to start actively looking for things that prove to me, because these truths are they're true, prove to me that I am wanted and needed, that there are spaces for me, that I am not responsible for everyone else's emotions, that I am important, that I am needed. And even if it's little things, like you went to the coffee shop, you looked at somebody, you smiled at them, and they smiled back. Ooh, I am needed in that moment. You don't know what that smile could have done for them in that moment. Looking at the friends that you have and the people who check up on you, there are spaces for me. I am unconditionally loved. We're actively changing our lens to look for these things in our everyday. So that's a big thing that I want to offer. Just actively practicing looking for things that confirm your beliefs that are rooted in truth. So I think a practical way to do this that I would offer is every day, every week, however you want to do it, no pressure on changing the world overnight. Have an affirmation or a truth that's hard for you to identify with. Maybe it's the I'm easy to love, right? That's your thing that you're meditating on for the week, for the day. And you're going to find things that confirm that, yes, you are easy to love, right? So we're actively finding new things. Your brain is flexible. Neuroplasticity is a real thing. So it will change over time. I think they say after like 400 repetitions, your neural connections in your brain start to literally create a new pathway. 400 sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much. If you really think about it, we pick up our phone more than 400 times in a day. So you can create a new pathway in your brain. So that's the first thing is we're going to constantly be looking for external cues that confirm our internal truths. Last thing that I want to offer is that I think it's really important to start journaling stories and writing out those moments that confirm those truths that were rooted in love. And there's something magical that happens when a pen hits paper. I remember elementary school teachers telling us all the time, like, you need to write with pen to paper to help you memorize things more. And it's so true. And I think in a day and age where technology is so big, which is also why I encourage us to not have it present with us in this moment, there's a disconnect that happens. And so there's something active that happens where your body is literally, you're activating your body and you're writing these things out. It does something. Um, there's a modality of therapy called EMDR. Some of you guys may know what it is, some of you may not. Eye motion desensitization. Did I just forget the last one? Response therapy? Yeah. So basically, the woman that came up with it, she was going on a walk one day and she was like processing and thinking about things in her life. She noticed while she was going on this walk and she kind of had this bilateral stimulation happening, like you're moving both legs, you're moving both parts of your body. Things started clicking, right? So I'm a very strong believer that even the act of writing, if you want to write with this hand and then you read while holding it with this hand, just implementing your body into this process of thinking through this. And a great way to do that is journaling. So after you guys go through your week and you have that affirmation and you have that thing that you're trying to get yourself to really believe, we're trying to integrate this into our system. Don't only just note it. Hey, I saw the punch buggy. Hey, I saw the Tesla. No, I'm gonna go home and write down, today I saw the punch buggy and today I saw the Tesla. Today my friends showed up for me when I really needed them. Today somebody said thank you for a favor that I did. These are helping me confirm that this thing that I'm trying to believe is true is actually true. So these are my active practices that I want to offer y'all that again aren't just a little. Try it for a week, try it for a month, try it for a day with intention, and then see how you can slowly integrate it into your everyday. Because I think this is something that has really changed my life in a lot of ways, and it's very powerful and it gives you your power back. So I want to offer that. And before we kind of close out, I just want to remind you guys about what this space is and why I do this. So I started um, a movement called Joy Reclaimed. It was something that I felt really called to do. I think I've really consistently been somebody who really enjoys helping people. And this is one of the ways that I really enjoy doing it. I feel really called to do it. And I felt like the spirit was telling me at the end of last year, like, there is no better time than now. And so I make these spaces free and accessible and at home so that people can get the help that they need when they need it. And also so that I can offer up whatever it is that I'm receiving to the world. Because I don't think that we receive good things for ourselves. I went out to brunch this morning with a new friend, and it was my first time meeting her, and it was a really, really good experience. But she said something to me that I really appreciated hearing before this even came tonight. And she said, if you had the cure to cancer, would you hide it? No. So even though I don't believe this is the cure to cancer, maybe helps with your health overall, holistic well-being, but I do believe that there's nuggets that I can offer. I think there's nuggets we can all offer, and if this is the way that I can do it and this is the way that I'm being directed to do it, then I want to stay obedient to that and offer this into the space. So through Joy Reclaimed, we reclaim our joy through rest, through expression, through creativity, love, alchemizing, integration, and movement. And so I think today we were really focused on that love and integration piece, um, and a little bit of the movement because we're talking about somatics. So I think that's definitely a piece there. Um, and yeah, I just really hope you guys enjoyed this space and there will be more of them. If you know somebody who you feel like could get something from this space, I like that it's intimate and y'all don't gotta have your cameras on. I want to keep it that way. So, yes, I hope it was intentional for you guys. You can join the WhatsApp group. This is where I'll be more active in there, but I post like prompts in there for you guys. I post reminders. I post little things. There's going to be a lot more going in there soon. Again, this baby was literally just birthed at the beginning of this year. My first one was on January 4th. So this is new. She's new. She's my little literal baby. So I'm in process of figuring out what works and how I want to integrate things. Yeah, so that is there for you. I'm going to also be sending in there. I highly recommend everybody join this because I will be sending a PDF with everything we talked about today, active journal prompts on there. Those truths, those lies will also be written on there. So you guys can copy that file, use it as you will. And I'll have that in that chat for you. And then my link tree is also at the bottom. So I do these online and I also do in-person events if you're in like the Denver or Colorado area. I know some of you guys are, I know some of you guys are not. But if you are in the Denver and Colorado area, I post a lot of different events on there. So I know we have February 1st, we have a book club meeting. It's a dinner, but you don't have to have read the book. But I am inviting so many people to come to this because I'm gonna have a Black doula and a therapist on a panel. The book that we read was very focused on like themes of grief and birth and loss and relationships. So we'll have an open panel. We'll serve you guys dinner. That's on the 1st. Um, Open mic starts again on February 11th. I host spoken word, so y'all can come through to that. And yeah, everything else is integrated, weaved into there somehow, some way. So I just wanted to offer that into the space. Again, thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for, I'm just now seeing the comments. Um, yes, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. This makes my heart happy. I hope y'all got something from it. Please take care of yourselves tonight. Like, please, after experiences like this, don't just jump onto your phone right away. Please make yourself a nice dinner. Be calm. Be gentle with your bodies because it can be a lot sometimes when we're not used to doing this all the time. And I will stay on for a little bit because I'm open to answering any questions and chatting with y'all. But thank you guys. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves and stay warm if you're in a place where it's snowing right now. It's cold outside. Oh my goodness gracious. Cam or Camden or Gam, I see that you're also here. Do you guys have any questions about anything that happened? Any other thoughts that you want to offer into the space? Mm. Yummy girl, we're all done. I think you're muted, but did you enjoy the last bit of it that you popped in at?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I have to get back out there in the cold, and so I was like, "Oh, gonna miss it." But I'm glad. Yes, I enjoyed it. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
So proud, and there's nothing better in life than to be able to help other people in their lives because we're all in this together, trying to navigate, and you have a lot of wisdom. So thank you, sweetie.
Of course, my gammy girl.
I you couldn't could you see people in there because I had the phone in my lap while I was
No, you're
driving.
fine. Girl, you're fine. You're
Oh,
fine.
okay. Well, I look forward to the next time.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
when I'll be on time, I was like, okay, wait a minute, it might get bad out here. I need to run to the store real quick. And so I did that and I had to go real slow because it's bad out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was cold out there. Yeah,
Oh,
that was whew, that was a I'll send you the whole video so you can watch the whole thing. Now that the
ye-
last girl's left, I can like talk. Whew, that
yes, I that was beautiful. You're so
yeah,
art, you're so well versed. You're girl, you just have what it takes.
thank you.
Keep shining, sweetie.
Thank you. I'm about to go take care of my energy now. You already know when you know this when you do Reiki and stuff like that. When you hold the space for people like this, like I led them through a visualization, a meditation. Ooh, it's like I could feel their energy coming through the screen. I'm like, I
Oh,
gotta
yeah, I know what you
cleanse.
mean.
It's like that heaviness. I can feel everybody's energy right now. So I'm like, I gotta stop. I gotta
That's why I
breathe.
go see about you. But when can I? It's so it said it's being recorded. When
Yeah,
can I watch it? Like
I'll
immediately?
literally, I'm gonna upload it tonight. So it'll be
Okay.
on there,
Okay. If I don't watch it tonight, I'll watch it tomorrow. I'm working on some paintings. Going to start another painting.
period.
Okay. Well, I love you, sweetie.
I love you too. I'll see you later.
Love you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.